Nickelodeon in the late 2000s was sitting pretty comfy. They had plenty of animation and live-action shows, but following the end of Nick Gas, fans were wanting to watch more game shows. This led Nickelodeon to team up with production companies 310 Entertainment and Stone & Company Entertainment, the powerhouse behind the good Legends of the Hidden Temple, to bring a brand new game show to their network. Well, not exactly brand new. They took a Japanese game show called BrainSurge and adopted it into a shorter half-hour format for US audiences. This created BrainSurge. This half-hour series, hosted by Nick alumni Jeff Sutman, took 6 kids through different tests of knowledge over 4 rounds. Not wanting it to be hidden, Nickelodeon revealed the show and released several teaser trailers hyping up audiences for the premiere on September 28, 2009.
How many hairs he plucks out?
Think you're ready to play? Think again.
The episode starts with a flashy intro sequence, followed by Sutphin introducing himself and the 6 contestants for the day, dubbed the Brainiacs. He then starts the first round by showing the kids different videos, with the Brainiacs having to pay attention to any and all details, as after the video is finished, they are asked a question that they must answer to try and earn points.
The correct answer is number 3, it's the USA. And James is the only one who got it right. Nice job.
For this round, there were 5 or 6 videos shown, each worth a different point value. The first was 10, then 20, 30, 40, 50, and 100 points, though in the second season, the 40-point question was dropped. For the third season, the Brainiacs only were asked a 10, 25, 50, and 100-point question. Each contestant had 10 seconds to lock in their answer, after which the correct answer was revealed. The top 4 scoring players move on to the next round, while the remaining 2 are eliminated, being sent home through the only way out of here: the Brain Drain, a giant foam-filled slide snaking its way through the studio.
Here comes Megan. Megan Great.
The consolation prizes were revealed before showing the next set piece and fading to a commercial break. After the commercial break, the kids are moved to a secondary set piece stylized around Sutphin's face. The Brainiacs are riding hand-shaped chairs back and forth along a track before coming to a pause at the very end. Sutphin then dives deeper with each of the contestants, learning what their talent or special fact about them is.
Isaac, you made a wedgie machine out of pulleys. Do tell.
Well, I got a really big pulley system once for Christmas, so I thought, why not make a giant wedgie machine?
I mean, what else would you use pulleys for? Am I right?
No.
Exactly. Lifting a piano? No. Wedgies. Enough chit-chat. Let's get to the gameplay.
From there, Sutphin reads the story out of his book to the kids as an animation plays on screen.
On your feet, it's story time. Remember, you guys are going to want to pay attention to everything you hear and see. And also remember, everything I'm about to tell you is 100% true.
They are then tasked to give as many answers as possible, one at a time, only until 2 Brainiacs remain. There were 2 formats for this question, one format being the Brainiacs having to answer from a list of names or items shown on screen, with the other being a more generalized who, what, when, where, and why type of question. Oh, and after each answer, they had to sit down on their chair and hold on tight. If they hear a bell, it means they got it right. If they heard a fart, that means they're eliminated.
To impersonate an alien, I developed the world's worst what?
Suntan.
Suntan. Sit and hold. Oh no, Jacob!
Once only 2 remained, they moved to the knockout round. This round was a memory matching game, and they repeated matches back and forth until 1 player was eliminated.
BrainSurge champion, nice job! Isaac, buddy, you played a great game, but you know what has to happen. Have a seat and hang on. Oh no!
The show then cuts to the 3 contestants being sent down the brain drain and having their consolation prizes announced. Following this, Sutphin congratulated the remaining contestant and teased the final round. Coming back from the final commercial break, Sutphin and the final Brainiac are standing on the 3rd set piece, a floor with a glowing grid that expands after each level successfully passed. They begin with a 4x4 grid, growing to a 5x5 and ending at a 6x6 grid. In the 3rd season, the kid on the team would solve the 4x4 and 6x6 grid, while the parent would take the 5x5. The Brainiac had 90 seconds to memorize and correctly recreate the path on the grid without misstepping. If they did, they had to go back and restart the pattern from their current level. For every level that they successfully passed, they earned a prize. The 3rd prize was typically a cruise or family vacation of some sort. If the Brainiac or teams completed all 3 puzzles, they got slimed. If they didn't, they went down the brain drain. BrainSurge ran for 2 seasons, totaling 80 episodes. Within those 2 seasons, they had several specials and guest stars, such as Tony Hawk hosting an episode, Girls vs. Boys, celebrity episodes with Nick stars as Brainiacs, and a series of family episodes that most likely served as the plot for the 3rd and final season, Family BrainSurge. Family BrainSurge ran for an additional 40-episode season, bringing the series total up to 120 episodes. Premiering on July 18th, 2001, the series was bumped from its regular Nick down to Nick at Night. The show ran there until it was canceled on November 17th. The remaining episodes aired on Nicktoons from April 28th through May 9th, 2014. And now for some facts that I couldn't really figure out where else to put them in, except for the end, so here goes. In seasons 1 and 3, the Sutphin wall was on camera left of the big screen, while in season 2 it was on camera right. In season 1, the brain drain ended at a giant exit sign, while in seasons 2 and 3, it ran straight down the middle of the audience, ending there. There's also a Spanish ripoff of the show named here. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. It ran on Discovery Kids in Brazil and Latin America starting in November of 2011. And finally, it's not really known why BrainSurge was canceled, though one could guess it was so that Sutphin didn't have to double dip working on both BrainSurge and the upcoming Figure It Out revival. And now this is normally where I'd say the usual spiel at the end, oh, BrainSurge is off the air or whatever I could think of, but that's not the end of the story, as I was on an episode back in season 2, and I thought, what better way to talk more about the production than to explain it from the very beginning? In fact, I've been using clips from my episode the whole time, so whenever you saw a green-shirted, blue-eyed, blonde-haired kid, that was me. So the whole thing started back in 2011 when I auditioned on my birthday in a custom BrainSurge audition shirt that we made, and I don't know whether it was that or the fact that I was auditioning on my birthday, or if they just genuinely liked me, but I got picked. Now, not many people believed us, but our tape date was actually on April Fool's Day 2011, and I thought that was kind of funny. So 2 holidays that involved BrainSurge in my life. Pretty cool. Now, can I make this in the light without it tipping over? I did. So April 1st, me and my family and a couple friends made our way up to LA at the what was then called Hollywood Center Studios. I ran inside with my dad to get to this big meeting room, and there were at least 30 or 40 other contestants in that room. And there was actually someone there who auditioned on my birthday at the same day. Hey Corday, he ended up being on the same show. From there we were given our name tags and got to pick what color shirt we wanted. I went with green for obvious reasons. I mean, you could see that back there. And the Joy-Con right there. Once everyone arrived, everyone sat down together and we watched a couple videos of them just explaining the general rules of the show, explaining how the different games are played, and from there we were set off to the studio in groups of our episode. We were then led into the stage one group at a time to demo the touchpad for that first round, and it was think like an iPad, but a mushier screen. That's pretty much what it was. Just had a bunch of numbers. I don't remember words ever coming on screen, but numbers, delete button, and an enter. That was it. From there, we were sent back into a much smaller green room just for us, the 6 of us on that episode. We had a bunch of snacks, a bathroom with TV, which had every channel except Nickelodeon. I really don't understand that. And we didn't have a live feed to watch them tape the show either, so oh well. We sat there for a good 2 hours until it was time for our show to be taped. From there, everyone was let in one by one to get mic'd up and had makeup put on. We were then pushed into a smaller room so that we can have a quick pep rally, and they sent us off to the studio. And by that, I mean the adult in the room turned to me and said, hey, you remember the way to the studio? And I said, yeah, sure. He said, okay, lead the way, and more or less shoved us out. And me being me, I kind of remembered, and I ended up walking us into the Sweet Life on Deck set, and we didn't realize until we saw the boat and went, oh no, and we ran out to the correct set. Or the wrong door for the correct set. We were backstage at a different spot and they told us to go around. Anyway, we make it to the studio and we get set up for round 1. We get loaded in, camera set up and everything. We do a quick dry pass to make sure all of the 6 of us are ready, and then we do it for real. From there, Jeff comes out on the stage, says his little thing, and then introduces each of the 6 contestants, including me. And for that, they had to retake mine for some reason. I don't understand why to this day, but that's why I'm looking off to the side at first. And from there, we started playing the games. They had 2 TVs for us to watch, and it was just the same thing on each screen, so I picked the one closer to me, and we watched it in real time, the animation, and then we had to answer quickly, like I said, 10 seconds to input our answer, and then we were good. Once the round ended, they tallied up the points, told each of us, as you see on the show, who gets to move on to the second round. I barely made it, and the other 2 were simply taken backstage as they filmed a little out to the commercial bit. And we didn't really know where they were standing until later, but I'll get to that later. They move us over to the sliding chairs, tell us again, grip on tight, because these things move faster than it looks like on TV. And it's kind of difficult to grip on tight As you're moving back and forth on this weird chair, your arms kind of bent weird, and CO2 is just blasting in your face as you're going back and forth. But everything went fine. I stood up, said my thing about having a giant wedgie machine, and we moved on from there to have the story. And again, just like the first round, they had 2 little TVs for us so we can watch that and not have to look to the side at that giant screen. Now this is where it gets interesting. Jacob, one of the first contestants in that level, messed up on a word he was trying to say to give an answer. He said one word and then kind of changed it into a second one, and they had to stop production and figure out which answer they would take. And they ended up taking the first. He says it, it's wrong, he gets pulled away. And then right after him, Tori goes up and says the second answer he gave, which was correct, and she's fine. And that kinda irked me. But I understand now why they had to do it that way, and everything's fine. From there, it ends up being me and Tori. We go into the knockout round, repeat numbers back and forth until I get eliminated, sit down, get pulled backstage, and I'm told not to move until their take is done. It was at that point that they gave me water, some baggies to put over my shoes to protect them when I go down the brain drain, and they usher me and the other 4 contestants up some steps to the very tippy top of the brain drain. So they didn't film any brain drain segments until after all 5 were eliminated, so they only had the 1 in the studio at that point. And from there, they had 3 of us who were eliminated in the second round kind of step back so you couldn't see them through the opening on the brain drain, and they filled it with foam, sent the first kid down, filmed it again, 2, 3, 4, then myself, and I tried to get as much foam come down with me as I could, and as I'm walking out, I jumped to give my brother a high five before I went through the backstage. And that's pretty much it. There isn't anything else other than me showering, changing, signing a few papers like an NDA saying that I wouldn't talk about the show or the outcome until after it aired. And that's that. And out of 120 episodes made, there's less than 50 uploaded online to YouTube. And I'll try and put together a playlist with all the ones that I could find, upload it for you guys, and put it down in the description below. But other than that, BrainSurge will remain off the air. Thanks for watching. Isaac, signing off. I really hope I'm not stupid pale, because I don't want to record that again.